So, whenever you're ready, I can handle the timer on myself. I think everything's right on the overlay, and yeah.
Yeah, I will do the hard research, so I don't know. Should I say something or just start the game and you put the timer?
No, start it. I
Okay,
will handle it.
I
We
was
know the timing.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I will start now then. Okay.
All right. And so this is the
Ooh.
beginning of our final run. So first thing first, Citizen had to do a hard reset, and most people recently have been doing a soft reset, but because he's playing on emulator, and since he expects to potentially PB, he wants his run to be valid. So that's why he did a hard reset at the beginning.
You do have inputs displayed, don't you?
Oh yeah, I have it on my local record.
Oh, you got local recording. Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so, what can we expect today for this octoclip route? It's slightly faster than last week, but it's going to be too different, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a little bit of differences. So if you remember a couple of weeks back, we had the flippers skip route where we went and got the magic boomerang instead of going to get the flippers, and then did some tricks in droplets to skip having to use the flippers to get around. Well, immediately after that, there was a much harder route found called bracelet skip that does some horrible frame perfect trick and saved a bunch of time, but it was kind of really scary to go for because of the success rate was way lower than doing the regular route. We've got the same situation going here, where what we saw last week with the P-hat clip route, that's kind of like what we're thinking of as like the regular route, and then this is going to be doing a really hard trick that's got a really low success rate and hoping that you can save a lot of time with it.
Yeah, you can save a lot of time with it, but if you mess it up 3, 4, 5 times in a row, it starts to be not as worth it anymore. And,
yeah.
Yeah, kind of the same situation as Nick said, flipper skip versus flat bracelet skip. We are in the bracelet skip of the modern times, except it's not exactly the same. We can well, we will see it later, but in bracelet skip you basically skip stuff and then you have to do the very hard trick later. There you actually have to prepare for it quite earlier and do the very hard trick. In Temple of Droplets, which is earlier than Palace of Winds, being the 5th dungeon, but still quite challenging, and not everyone wants to go for that route.
I haven't figured out like what proportion of the way through the run it is, but I would guess that it's about the same, just because of how much skips we've had to save time at the end of the run and stuff. So
as well, since the Castle Walls is done earlier.
Yeah.
In a way, you push later. But as usual, the early game is going to be exactly the same until we enter Cave of Flames. It's going to be perfectly glitchless, except for the guards will pick you if you turn that as a glitch, which I guess you can. And then, well, Cave of Flames is going to be the same as the Grapple Hop route, and basically the first difference we're going to see between the previous route and that one is going to be right after carrying out, or during Fortress of Wind, we will need some extra kingdoms. Yeah, what's the spirit of that route? How do you octoclip it?
Yeah, so how did octoclip come about? So this was back in 2021. Solidified Gaming had discovered the P-hat clip, Chronal clip, and stair clips, and later, so they discovered all of that in about springtime, and then if we fast forward to the autumn, they were looking at more stuff with the game. They realized that if you have your shield out and you walk into an enemy, you get recoiled. If you use the ocarina, the frame that you get hit by an enemy with your shield you kind of slide as you play the ocarina. And during that sliding animation, Link doesn't update what kind of tiles he's on. He gets like a temporary OG ocarina glitch slide. And you can use that to bypass certain things. Like you can use it from the top of a staircase. There's at the top of the staircase to be able to stay on layer 2. And if there's no doorway that you can get ocarina glitch from, you can use that to get out of bounds. But Solidify didn't like that as being the only use of it, because all that it did was saved 1 second in Palace, which is not even worth going for. We'll see it in the TAS, but we won't see it in RTA for a while. So they looked for some other things, and then they realized, we can use it to go through a pot that we've just pushed and then cancelled the pushing animation by dying. Which means we can get to the other side of it, and then we can use the pot to push us into a wall. Which is great, because then we have more ability to get through walls. And they found the perfect spot to do that in Templar Droplets, where we can clip through the corner of some blocks and get to the Octo fight early without having to activate any of the switches, and without having to get the flippers, very importantly. We could go to Octo without using the switches before, but it would require going very far out of the way, going to get the lily pad, and then doing some out of bounds movement with the lily pad. But this saved a lot of time.
And this will require the flippers as well, which is something we skip right now, and we still want to skip it.
Yeah, you can skip. You can get to the lily pad without the flippers, but it's very slow. And it turns out to not be worthwhile doing. It's faster to just go and hit the switches. But yeah, so they figured out that you do this complicated setup and then do a frame perfect trick, you can clip into Octo early.
Just a 1 frame, or is it 2 frame perfect?
It's a tight setup, but the hardest set of inputs is a single frame perfect input. There are some other, some parts of the setup are tight frame windows, but none of them are frame perfect. So it's technically 1 single frame perfect input, but it's not as easy as something like or even a cutscene ocarina glitch. Because with the cutscene ocarina glitch, it is just trying to do a frame perfect input at the right timing. This is trying to do a frame perfect input with the right timing, but chaining a bunch of other things to be perfect. Because if you mess up any of the other things, everything's gonna fail.
Yeah, it's like it's only 1 frame perfect input, but the timing itself changes. So you have to know on which frame you have to press, and that's not really. I think that's very easy.
We've got RTA setups though for it. So when it was originally discovered, everyone looked at it and went, "Ew, no, not touching that." For about a month. And then I was like, yeah, sure, let's go for it. Let's try and make an RTA setup for this. And I gave it a shot, and I came up with something that was a starting point but didn't really work. But then Vlak and TGH had a look at it and was like, this is definitely RTA viable, let's try and make setups for it. Vlak came up with a really good setup, but didn't want to actually do it in runs. But TGH took Vlak's one, improved it a little bit more, and started doing it in runs. And within a couple of weeks of starting doing it, they managed to lower the record by about 5 minutes.
So overall, how much time would that route save compared to, maybe is it 5 minutes? Is it a little bit less? 3 maybe?
So we don't know. We don't think the p-hack clip route like current record is fully optimized, because TGH was very much at the point of tying Vlax's run with their most recent one and was ready to like start improving it. So they could have improved it maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And currently, the world record that they set with Octoclip is 4 minutes faster than the one set by Vlak.
Yeah, so
It's like 4 minutes 10 seconds exactly.
a good estimate would be 3.5 minutes faster by doing that route,
Yeah.
assuming everything goes right, of course.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
To Clip.
It's something on that order, definitely, because you're saving about 3 minutes in droplets from doing this, but you're getting an extra time save. One of the main reasons why we need to get the red sword at the time we do in the route is so that we can activate the switches in Templar droplets. And one of the other things is so that we can get to one of the Tingle Brothers. But if you run up 100%, you know that we don't go through that cave to get to the Tingle Brother there, and we can get up to there without using that. We can do a portal jump storage. So if we add that in, and we add in Octoclip, then there's no reason why we need to get the red sword early, and we can delay getting the red sword till after the Templar Droplets dungeon, when we've got the water element, which means that we can upgrade our green swords to our red sword, and then immediately to our blue sword, all in one trip to the castle, and that saves about 30 seconds.
It saves one trip to the sanctuary. But,
Yeah.
You said we saved 3 minutes in droplets alone, right? But
Pretty much, yeah.
We have to do some extra stuff to be able to
Oh.
use the trick.
So it actually saves about 4.5 minutes. We are sacrificing about 1.5 minutes to do some setup. So part of the setup is we need to die as we push a pot. Now, that means we need to have a fairy in a bottle. We have one
Use
bottle.
some fairy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We use a fairy to Death Abuse as part of the flipper skip to get to Templar Droplets. One of the ideas we had was, okay, let's try and make a manipulation setup so that we can kill an enemy in Templar Droplets and it will drop a fairy. Or we find somewhere in Templar Droplets that drops a fairy. Then we can bottle that fairy and we can use that to do the Octoclip. Unfortunately, enemies don't drop fairies under most conditions. There are 2 conditions where an enemy will drop a fairy. Either you need to complete all 100 fusions in the game, which we're not doing in an any percent run, or you've collected all 130 it's 136? 136 figurines. Basically, do all the fusions or do all the figurines.
And then the game will drop fairies instead of kingstones and or shells, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the game's doing. It's replacing those items with fairies. Because of that, regular enemies aren't going to drop fairies in Templar Droplets for us.
And there's no pot with a fairy or anything in the whole dungeon.
There is not a single
that dungeon
one.
sucks so much.
Yeah, that dungeon is awful. I checked all of the entity data for all of the pots. None of them do. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. So it means we need to bring a second fairy with us, which means we need to get a second bottle. There are 4 bottles in the game. We get one normally on the route. There's one at the shop that we need to take it to the dog and then pour out the dog food. That was pretty slow. Even though we go there, it works out to not be quite as fast as the one that we do get in the run, which is the Smith bottle. So we do a fusion with the Smith, and then a chest spawns in the next area over, and we quickly run over to that and grab it, which is not too slow.
It's quite a shame that it's the one that's the fastest, because the shopkeeper one would be pretty convenient, since, as you said, we go to Lake House where the dog is, and it would be pretty much free as I guess the only thing you need to do is maybe an OG to get to his shop faster, and then just talk to him.
Yeah, the really it's so slow because we have to shrink in the cafe and then go all through that Minish section to the shop roof and go down and then grow, and then he talks to us and then we get the bottle and then we need to leave. The fastest way of leaving is literally doing a save and quit. All of that is really slow.
Do you know how much slower that one would be compared to the Smith one? I'm curious.
Sorry,
Like,
can you repeat that?
how much slower would it be to get the shopkeeper bottle compared to Smith bottle?
I thought I timed it as like 50 seconds.
50, okay, I think 50
Yeah.
is a lot, but if it was like 30 or less, you could be like, okay, I don't want to bother with an extra RNG manip to get a... Is it one? No, it's two.
That's
Wait, you need two red kits an extra anyway, so...
we need a red. So as well as all of the kinstones that we need in the route, we need that red W-shaped one for the to get to Palace early. We need the 4 green ones. So to do the fusion with the Smith, we need a red arrow-shaped one or a V.
Yeah. And we need a RE that we will see later on to unlock the cave with a wallet inside.
Don't necessarily need that.
Oh yeah.
There's
So
some
you can
options of
Eslo
what to do. You don't need to Eslo buffer. I have a setup for it that works exactly like Lake House.
Okay.
So yeah, in Lon Ranch, we need to do the portal jump storage to get to the Tinkle. In the 100% route, we have a puddle reveal which has a staircase there. So we can do an ocarina glitch just off the staircase. It's really simple. If you fail it, you walk down the staircase, you just walk straight back up and try again. If you don't want to do that fusion, and you can skip that fusion and save about like 20 to 30 seconds, you can do a death abuse off of the ranch house. So just like with Lake House, there's the Eslo buffer setup that you can do to die and do the death abuse, so that you can do an ocarina glitch off the door.
Story tree interrupt
Nice.
yeah. With the jump, which is very good. And I think you also got 5 and 6 hits, so pretty good RNG. We didn't really develop what was happening during that dungeon, but as usual, it is a tutorial dungeon. Eslo talks to you a lot, and you want to avoid rolling into it. And overall, pretty good time.
This is the 7th time we've seen Deeper Shrine. It's almost exactly the same way.
If you want some more explanation on how things work, you can check the previous runs.
Yeah,
right?
You'll be very confused if this is the first one you're watching. You're like, what is anyone talking about?
Yeah. Right, back to you.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Lon Ranch is now another thing that we need to think about. What do you want to do? So the fusion to make the puddle spawn a staircase is the mayor in town, and very conveniently, he owns a kinstone in his basement that he wants to fuse with. So you can do some manipulation or get the kinstone earlier in Fortress or whatever, or if that's too much effort, you can just go down to the basement, grab that quick, and then fuse with him. It adds an extra like 10 seconds.
But thing is, Session is probably not gonna fuse with him, right? Are you doing an OG on the London Ranch, Session?
Sorry, what? I was muted.
Are you gonna fuse with the mayor?
No.
To
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm doing the myth
Yeah, that's the
setup.
baby strat.
I'm doing, I think it's myth setup for the
Let's
door
go.
opening.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm curious to see how it looks like. I have not seen very much about autoclip route, to be fair, and I've never read it, so I will be.
So the that setup was found algorithmically, because I calculated the number of frames I had to delay Link by to be able to die perfectly on the doorway with just buffered movement, and I calculated how much each item in the game delays Link by. And then did linear algebra and just created a big table and did some maths and found a combination. It turns out that it's a Gust Blast and 2 cane shots. And if you do that, it delays you perfectly. Instead of with Yadra setup for Lake House, we do the roll and then an arrow shot. At the London Ranch door, we're just going to use a Gust Blast and 2 cane shots. Oh yes, so we got glitches
of the game, just like last week, for very good guard skip. We'll still don't need to go through him more than once, so we can just start.
Yeah. So basically, what we explained is the only real difference is there's going to be a load of stuff that's going differently between Ocarina and the water element, and then not too much different outside of that. Some slight differences here and there, like a manipulation different, or we grab the sword twice, but it's basically the same.
So overall, we are going to enter droplets late compared to last week, but we will execute early because we don't have to watch any of the Twitch animation. And we still
enter earlier because we're skipping the sword, so we do save a bit of time.
Oh yeah, and then we lose some more because we have to use the element twice, which is kind of a bummer. Like you need to do it first the red sword, then the blue sword, and you have to save and wait for that. That's something we realized I think years ago when we were skipping using for some of the categories that should not be named. I remember I was.
Who knew? Miscellaneous categories. The knowledge you learn from those are useful in any percent at some point.
When knowledge is knowledge, but knowing that you can do the kind of fight without clothes doesn't mean we are gonna do it anytime soon, even if you actually can go past the big block in the first room.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know.
I guess we can talk.
I don't know if you said you delayed the Moblin fight with the body cutscene, so that's a time lost later on too.
That's another thing. So, the Moblin fight spawns after we get the red sword. If we delay where we get the red sword, then we have to delay the Moblin fight as well. And if we delay the Moblin fight till after the magic boomerang, then the ladder's in the way. And the ladder, Link's going to be climbing up and down the ladder as the fight happens, and that loses some time.
Yeah, and it makes the fight much harder than it used to be.
Yeah, but we have the magic boomerang, which means that we can use it to stun the Moblins, so it's not that bad.
It's something that people do.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, it makes it much more manageable to deal with the Moblins when you throw the boomerang at one, like it just becomes part of the regular fight for it.
Alright.
Gotta say that I didn't knew that.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so Reynard's session is just climbing Mount Chrono like everyone did before him and probably everyone will ever do after him. The tricks will resume in Cave of Flames just like in the later routes.
Until people start doing Bootsless Swamp. And then you would do Chrono Clip here and go straight to Swamp.
Before Cave of Flames?
Yeah, so you can use the Ocarina to do OGs in Cave of Flames.
And would that be worth it? Like,
We do that in the IL because we can.
Yeah, I mean, technically, would that be something you do in percent? Because you would probably lose time overall to
Oh,
not getting.
we don't do it because we lose time overall.
And also because it's fruitless swamp.
Yeah, there is no RTA setup for it. It's not even done in a full game task yet, so
I know Toadzy did RTA, but with a bunch of save states, so kind of assisted.
he didn't do RTA. Well, yeah,
he was the one playing. It didn't map the input frame by frame, but it wasn't really something you could really expect to see done maybe ever as it is now.
yeah.
Right, how many new rocks are gonna hit this turn?
Yeah.
Is it 2?
1. I always assume it's 1, but it's surprising how many times you
zero,
just never get hit.
Yeah.
I got hit like 10 times the other day.
It's
It's fun.
I bet. Alright, so let's see. Oh, very nice. I'm not gonna bother you at all. Right, perfect. Right, so in this section I have to say it in that screen. Eslo stops to tell you, hey, you should be careful. Because those raindrops, since we are very small, they're gonna hurt us a lot. It's gonna do more than a little bit of damage. But the truth is, those raindrops, when they hit you, they're needing a quarter heart of damage, the minimum amount. So Eslo is just a fucking fire. And that's a fact. Alright, more rock pushing.
Can I say that the other day I dreamed that I discovered a setup to skip this puzzle?
Oh really?
It's funny, yeah.
Haven't we all?
It had something about
Like
with the
down.
portal and doing a portal item to the stairs, but
Yeah.
probably not happening soon.
Yeah, you can do portal items here with the mitts to get out of bounds. You can't go anywhere with it, and also the problem is you need mitts.
Yeah.
But yeah, we mentioned last week Solidify finds a lot of things, and they did find a setup that you can get out of bounds on this trip with like this level, this many items, because you just get one of the beetles to sit on you whilst you're pulling a mushroom. You get fly.
But then you get behind the... You get behind Killer Flames, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a full soft lock, because you can save and quit and go back to the beginning of the mountain, but it's... You can't do anything with it, unfortunately.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Nice damage boost. Oh yeah, we also didn't say anything about the goofy route, but it's just the same.
Oh,
since,
yeah.
with Bubble Hub, you go to the fairy cave in the beginning of Chrono, and then you get to 20 there and 50 in Cave of Flames because you skip the part with a big chest key, boss key. And we are finally getting to the mines, so we'll finally see some more tricks. The boring part of the run is over.
Yeah, so theoretically, we could, like, we might see a change in the rupee route at some point in the future with, if Bootsless Swamp becomes a thing. Because then we wouldn't get the boots, so we wouldn't need the rupees to buy the mushroom.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so unlikely to happen because the boots is a very useful item. It makes us go very fast, and if we don't get it, we save a lot of time from not getting it, but we lose a lot of time from not using it. So,
like, I wonder if you just get rid of all the time you spend getting the boots and you keep all the rest as it's, that you subtract the time you save by running instead of rolling. How much would you save? Would you even save time?
oh no, I did a quick calculation and it wasn't close, you lose time. You lose a lot of time.
So yeah, that's probably never going to happen. Maybe getting later, or even better, getting earlier. But the real question is how early.
You also need to remember that not having the boots makes us not able to do certain tricks like stair clip. So we lose a minute purely to that.
And also you can get some cycles from taking balance of them if you don't use the boots. You can get the cycle with the fans on the sides.
But then that's when we do the ocarina boost, and it only saves 1 second if we have the boots, but it could save like 10 seconds if we don't have the boots.
Right. Yeah,
I think people would go for an ocarina boost to save 10 seconds, right?
I mean, they did go for synergy to save 40, so why not? For now, let's assume it's never gonna happen. It's easier for me than that. Session got pretty good RNG in this beginning, I feel like. It was pretty good, especially with the Helm of Zelda. Okay, never mind. Session got average RNG. Alright, and very soon in the next screen we will get to see bridge strat again. So can we get a quick explanation on how that works? We played it before, but
With the diagonal angle retention.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when Link jumps out of the hole, the game assigns him a facing value, but the game does it wrong. It gives him the wrong facing value. It gives him a diagonal facing value in the memory address that's supposed to only be up, down, left, or right. No diagonals allowed. And the game gets very confused by this when you start pushing and pulling objects. And it starts pushing and pulling them diagonally. And how the game calculates collision, it just checks behind Link, and because behind Link is there's no wall or anything, then it's like, okay, we can do the action for pulling this object, so it pulls it diagonally. We're going to pull it out of bounds over this doorway. And then when we pull it back into bounds over the doorway, it deletes the tile of the edge screen transition and just deletes it. It's gone. So now there's a hole in the wall that we're going to use to go out of bounds. We're going to just time a certain number of rolls out of bounds here. And then, if the movement's correct, you land on the bridge a couple of rooms away. And you skip having to use a small key. So we now get to save a bunch of time here by just skipping directly to the basement with our saved small key.
yeah, it's at least a minute, right?
It's 2.5 minutes. Well, sorry, no. The total time saved for work hop in this dungeon is 2.5 minutes.
At least a
think
minute
it's-
there and 1.5 next trick, or maybe the other way.
Yeah,
where-
I think it's about that.
Yeah, very nice trick. And very well done. If it was slightly too high or too low, it would have been a soft fault, but Session being amazing at this game, he never failed it in his entire life.
Babies like me do the easy setup to land on the bridge, which is about a second slower.
Yeah, I would take that second, honestly.
Yeah, I do. I don't trust myself to get correctly timed rolls.
I mean, who wants to reset 32 minutes in?
Yeah.
I do not.
So here's the second angle retention. We're going to do a couple here to move this pillar out of bounds. Out of this spot here. We're going to save a little bit of time by just pulling it out here. And then we're going to push it against a wall. Now the game is really weird with how it grabs on Link. It makes Link grab onto objects. Link kind of like snaps to a new position when he grabs onto objects. So we exploit that by putting a roller bite in the wall and then grabbing the pillar whilst doing diagonal angle retention. It puts Link inside the wall, and then the roll like pushes them up to touch the screen transition, and then we go to the next room, and we're out of bounds, and we can just skip directly to the boss.
Yep.
And make sure to grab the fairy, because
Yeah.
the fairy's going to be very useful later on in the round.
Exactly.
Or here, if you die from being on low health because the game doesn't give you any hearts from the fire.
Yeah, well, this usually doesn't happen. It's kind of rare, but you can get hit in between the phases by the falling rocks. But just like the raindrops, they deal a little bit than, well, they deal a lot of damage, which is a quarter. And as Susan is pointing, there are carvings of Lyra on the wall.
So yeah, with Gleerock, there's some like micro optimizations you can do. If the head falls to the left, to the right, or up, the neck drops a couple frames faster. It's like 10 frames or something like that. But at the very end of the fight, there's a white screen flash when the boss is dead, which we're going to see here. There. Yeah, it holds the screen white and then rotates the model of Gleerock around if it's facing left, right, or up. But if it's facing down, it's already facing in the right direction, so the white flash is instant. And it's only 1 second that you can save, but you can save a second if you make Gleerock face down at the end.
And it's not too difficult. I mean, you can lure in that spot pretty easily. Alright, so far so good. No big mistakes in that run. How are you feeling about it, Susan?
I have gold like 3 or 4 splits, so I'm feeling alright.
Sick.
Alright. So here we're gonna get the white sword. Is it a white sword in English?
Yeah.
I think it was like that in French. I can't remember.
This is just called the White Sword, and that's it. It's just called the White Sword. And then when you get the red one, it's called the White Sword Fire Element or 2 Element. I think it's 2 Element.
Right.
And then the blue one is White Sword 3 Element.
From there, well, this is a little bit just like last week. So we use the fairy and cancel the animation of dropping the fairy on the signpost. There we do a sword turn so that we still have the push date and we get...
That was so scary, but Session did it perfectly.
Yeah, that was pretty quick, but also pretty interesting, let's say.
Yeah.
We got it.
You have to line up up within 2 pixels of the edge of the climbing wall. If you go too low, you climb onto the climbing wall. But they managed to land perfectly on the pixel away from the edge.
Yes, Susan did it so fast I didn't even have time to explain what that was about. But that's what happened when you have very skilled players playing the game. As we only had those kind of runner in this event, of course. Alright, so now it's time for Boots Quest, which, well, there's not much to say, except that the Minish model is making the emulator scream. And, yeah. Then is just gonna get some mushroom to wake up Ran, getting boots. And then the interesting stuff is going to happen, which will be the Castle World area where we're gonna get, well, first the P-Hat plate, but also at least one cancel manip. I think Cecil is doing the triple, which is the good old Vlad's manip, except that instead of going for the 4th one, he's only gonna get 3, which really, if you don't have the red sword, is the well, it's not really expected to get the fourth one. It's quite hard without a visual cue. And then another manip to get.
We have a
Yeah.
visual cue for it now, so
Oh,
it's the
really?
same difficulty as Red Sword.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just there's still just like a high chance of you not getting it, so
Yeah, it was kind of a 50-50 before. I don't know if it's still more or less the case
it,
for the fourth
it's
one.
basically that, yet still it's basically unchanged. So I still go for it because of I don't like the second Armos clip, but Session's deciding to get the fourth green Kenstone at the second Armos clip in Fortress.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a GP, it's not too
Yeah.
bad. But yeah, and then, well, in Fortress of Winds itself, I'm gonna be curious to see what we're gonna see, because, as we said earlier, Assassin is gonna need an extra red Kingstone to fuse with the Smith. And so
Yeah.
there are a couple of ways to do that. You can get a chest in Fortress of Winds, I think, on the way to...
No. There is a chest in Fortress of Winds that has the Kenstone we need for the Smith, but it's located in another part of the dungeon that we don't go to.
Oh,
Yeah, it sucks.
well,
The other chest that we go by that we never pick up normally in runs, that's the E-shaped one that would open Long on Ranch.
Yeah. Because then I don't know where it's gonna get it, probably with the manip. We'll see which one. Remember that I think it's
Yeah.
targets and armors can drop any kind of Kingstone. You just need to roll the RNG enough.
Yeah, I have scoured Fortress for different ways of getting Kinstone drops. I don't like the Dark Nut ones. Other people have looked more into continuing the RNG manipulation do from from there through to the Dark Nut fight. So you manipulate the Dark Nut fight so it always gives you faster. It gives a dash so that, and then it also drops the Kinstone so that you can continue the run.
The first time I've seen Gojira equipped with boots, but I guess it makes sense. You don't really need the sword
Yeah.
before you get to the bow. I
Yeah,
don't know
this
why
is-
I never thought of that.
This is the new menu that it took someone that hadn't done Wurple Hopper out to just equip the Gust Jar there. Several months after P-Hack Clip was a thing, and then we were just like, oh yeah,
Even when you do-
yeah, that's right. I think it was Cakery actually, because they were they started playing a month or two after P-Hack Clip and had never done Wurple Hop. And I was about to correct them. I was like, oh no, at there you want to equip the sword because you're about to fight the Dark Nut that we don't fight anymore, actually. Why do we equip the sword?
just have it.
Okay, so
Very minor, but still.
Cecile's gonna do a minute now. So that's 2 and 3.
Let's go. Perfect. And now it's time for the P-Hat
Yes.
manip.
Yeah.
Then the actual P-Hat clip. What
So
about for that clip?
there is a way of continuing the manipulation from that triple manipulation to manipulating the P as well. But it's awful and it's really hard. It's very precise. And you need to know Kinstone sparkle patterns. So the easiest thing to do is just to do a save and quit. Do the standard P-Hat manipulation. So Session's going to be manipulating P-Hat into the corner over here because there is a oversight in this bridge, and if we put it in the right spot, I think he's got it. Do a boot dash, we clip through the corner, and we're on layer 2, so we can run over the top of all the collision.
Easy money. And then it's just gonna enter a fortress of winds. Fast like that. And if you are tired of manip, well, too bad for you, because there's gonna be at least 2 more right there. Right now, he's gonna do another 7 quid to do the best trick in the game, after Cannonless, of course, which is almost sandwich. He's gonna get clipped in between 2 armoses and a lever, and that looks very cool. I like that trick a lot.
So all of this is another. It's pretty simple stuff. We're just doing the movement through all of these rooms that is the fastest, and that we've practiced a lot. So it's all just pure muscle memory.
Let's go.
Nice.
And now I'm curious which Kingstone Christian will get there.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4 boot dashes and then a spin attack, and that gives us a red arrow.
This is the one we need for the... Alright. Then right now he only needs the last green, which you can get on the other armors. I wonder if it what's the bet between getting the red, then the green, or the green, then the red with those 2 armors?
I don't think there is a early red from the second Armis clip. You have to do a lot of boot dashes.
Yeah. It's optimal to do it like that.
I don't know I don't know where the closest one's located in the RNG.
Alright, a little bit disappointing that this Darkman didn't want to cooperate, but
yeah,
it's not too bad. And another manip. Just one more, which is gonna be the one for the good old armor clip, getting a GP and then doing the other item all at once. So in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes, we've done a lot of stuff between the different manipulations of whales, eclipse, then the one there.
This is such a tricky section of the run now.
Yeah, the very great glitches. No extra spot.
Nice.
Perfect. Yeah, I was counting as well, and everything was perfect.
I still have the table up for that. I hate that second Armis.
Yeah, what you need to know is that there, Sam didn't get the clip instantly, so what you usually do is 3 boot dashes, which is 3 times 3 times 3 ticks of the boots that roll energy by 4 each, and then 2 sword slashes. Since you had to do 2 extra rolls, you had to do 2 slashes less, but you can do 2 slashes less. You need at least 1 to kill the armors. So what you decided to do is to do dashes and then 2 ticks. So you have 4 extra boots, and so you did 2 extra sword slashes before. That's a lot of words which you said it would come out in the head. This is the energy value. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it really shows that he's knowledgeable enough to adjust. That's something, if you don't really know what you are doing, and even if you know what you are doing, sometimes it's really hard to adapt on the go like that.
If you don't want to figure out what, I've made a table with it. How many extra rolls you need to do, and then it getting. that there are. Because there isn't just one green GP Kinstone in the RNG.
Oh, really?
There are two separated by 2 RNG calls. So, I always chose the one that was the most convenient one.
The second.
The other arm.
I'm sorry, I was not concentrated. Oh no.
Alright, at least you didn't have time to do other attacks. First mistake of the game, 49 minutes in. Okay, so I think
Honestly, you take a mistake like that over something like Hat or Armos Clip.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was probably like 15 seconds. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. I don't know where you are in the street, but it seems like a very solid run to me. We're still skipping this hot container because, well, Lake House is not too far. And actually, even more than Lake House, you actually need to die for the last single brother, so that's even sooner now.
Yes, so here's where things are going to start to get a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we can see on the in the Kinstone list of what we have, and we got the 4 Kinstones, the 4 green Kinstones. We've got a red arrow shaped, and below that's going to be another red W shape. But yeah, so now we're going to go over to Smith's house. Who thought that we would ever come back into Link's house a second time in the run?
That's an extra Eslo text.
Yeah.
And I have to say, luckily, this is the first Kinstone we can choose with him, because Smith has 2 Kinstones. If you run a handle, you know.
Yeah.
It could have been the second one, and then you would have needed an extra green. Is it always the same for Smith, or is it a shared one?
It is always the same.
Always the same, at least.
Yeah.
And, but it would
I
have been...
believe it's a G square.
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of
Yeah.
my head. Hunter runners know.
Well, I don't.
I
But,
don't
this
do.
is how we get the second photo. And now all we need is just to do the rest of the
Yeah.
water clips.
Here's another slight awkward part of the run. Cool, we grabbed a bottle. We need to fill it with a fairy. And how are we gonna do that? So luckily there are many trees dotted around in the overworld that we can bonk into, and they can drop fairies.
But they also can drop something else.
Yeah, so they have a 15 in 16 chance of dropping a fairy, and they have a 1 in 16 chance of dropping a Kinstone.
What will it be?
Which
Well,
you can
so fast we got a fairy.
you can get really unlucky. I have had 3 Kinstone drops in a row
Which is like
from
one-
the various trees, which is just insane. That's a 1 in 16.
times 1 in 16 times 1 in 16.
Yeah, cubed. That's how low the odds are.
Let's assume it never happens.
Yeah,
Except when it does.
except it does.
Yeah.
So the trees don't respawn the fairy until you have gone to 8 brand new rooms.
Alright.
So you can't return back to that room. You have to go to 8 different rooms, and then you can come back to that room, and then the tree will have been properly respawned with the fairy. But we don't want to do that because that's really slow. So there are 3 convenient ones that we can go to.
And if
that
nothing works at the cave itself, I will feel again better at the
oh,
point.
one of the trees is guaranteed. So
Yeah.
the third tree is guaranteed. So if you get bad and get 2 kidstones in a row, you're not going to get you're guaranteed to get a fairy on the next one. But Session's going to be doing a death abuse here.
Yeah, this is
for the setup.
good setup.
Very nice.
And now it's time for an ocarina glitch. Oh, you have enough room to do modern there.
Yeah, nice.
Barely.
Cool. So here we're going to do portal jump storage. So it's just as simple as getting ocarina glitch and then trying to jump on the portal.
But to play the ocarina, you need to press the button of the ocarina and R at the same frame. And also,
Yeah.
do not, for the love of God, do not try to jump out while Link is playing the ocarina, because else you will stop long. You need to wait for him to be done. Maybe, you know what, just wait 2 extra seconds, so you can jump over the bird and then you can do it. That's a mistake I think we've all done at least once when we tried that trick for the first time.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
That trick is really complex. Like, there's a ton of stuff you can do with portal jump storage. We're doing the basic version there, where we just jump straight away to get some extra distance. But you can change your facing direction with a sword or a shield, and you can use the gust jar to push yourself along, and you can move around. You can move to other areas of the game and jump out of bounds. There's some really cool out of bounds stuff that you can do with it. That unfortunately none of it is actually useful in the speedrun, but there is a small application that we have here, which is very nice.
Yeah. And well, now for if you're entering droplets, there needs 2 more things to get another fairy, and
Yeah.
also to lower his health. Luckily, there's some vines on a tree nearby, and that's the fastest way to take damage, really.
Yeah, and luckily the tree is on the way to a tree that we're going to bonk into to get a fairy, so just going to go over to the right here. And then there's if you can get lucky with your subpixels, you can kind of like get wedged into the thorns and just don't bonk, and you just stay in the spot. You can damage down. And yeah, Session got lucky and got both of them as fairies. I think it's they didn't get unlucky.
Yeah. It's not like at that point.
Yeah. And everything's pretty normal now. We're just going to be doing the Lake House OG that we've seen a few times now.
Bro.
Yeah, this bit of the run is a little bit scary because of the number of tricks that you're doing that could potentially kill your run if you do the inputs wrong. So in marathon settings like this, we have to save because it's too much. It's too much of a risk to mess it up and then just the run is over.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even if in a real run setting I would save, was probably because I don't like to reset that far. Like, even if I lose a minute or something, I'm like, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going with the run and take it as practice, honestly. Alright, but now we are in Temple of Droplets, so what's gonna happen in that dungeon compared to last times?
So we are going to do very similar things where we're going to get Ocarina Glitch. But we're not going to push that lever of the lever because we don't need a small key. We're never going to get a small key in this dungeon. We're just going to go directly to the boss key.
Alright.
Because we want to do a boss door clip to go to get our lantern. Now, normally we would use the boss door. Sorry?
And that keeps a Neslo trigger, right? very important.
Yes, it does skip an ESLO trigger. Normally we would use the boss key to go to the blue warp, because the blue warp is a nice central location that we can go to Blue Chew. We can go to all of the switches, all from that location, which is very convenient. But if we don't want to go to the switches, that means we can go directly to Blue Chew. So we're going to do that. We're going to go out of bounds. You just do a dash for like some blind movement here, and then you land in this spot here, and we roll down, and we're in the boss room, and it's that fast.
Very easy.
Yeah. Yeah, that movement's pretty easy as well. It's not that hard at all. And it skips the small keys, so all we need is the lantern, and then once we have the lantern, we can go to Octo to fight the boss.
Yeah, I can see how fast routes dungeon can be when you have one less, one fewer ice puzzle. You don't watch any cutscenes.
So I timed all of the dungeons across all of the routes to see how they've changed over time. Templar Droplets has been very consistently around the 10-minute mark across all routes. Even when we got Flipper Skip to do the boss door clips and all of that stuff, really only saved like 40 seconds or so. It brought it from just above 10 minutes to just under 10 minutes. In this route, you can get it close to 5 minutes. This dungeon is so fast now, it's lightning fast.
Speaking of lightning, it's essentially
oh yeah, lightning.
That blue chew lower is hell. I don't know exactly how much you want. Is it 1/4 or 1/2 maybe?
So we are going to die in the next area. The flying pots do a 1/4 heart. I hope Session doesn't listen to me and just goes by what they know.
Yeah, it's 1/4 heart, the bots.
Right, and right there, Session is going to Octoclip. As a reminder, since this is a marathon setting, we won't mind if Session decides to use a save state to get that trick, but we will see what he decides to do.
Yeah, they're still going for a PB at the moment.
Yeah.
So we are taking damage from the flying pot so that we're one hit away from dying, and then we need to maneuver this pot all the way through this area.
That was scary.
Yeah, it's a bit scary. So we're going to position it here, and then this setup is going to be lightning fast. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So they did all of the setup fine, and then they died to the first flying pot that hit them perfectly, and then the second flying pot came and hit them, and they used the shield and then tried to press the ocarina, and the ocarina input was late, so the shield got hit, but then the ocarina didn't play. So it's literally a frame perfect input of there's a pause buffer done to try and prepare yourself for it, but really you're having to just press the ocarina at the right time. Yes, that's great. The pots don't like to behave around the ESO triggers. Lovely. Yes,
Nice.
cool.
Second try, very good.
Yeah, well done.
Very good.
Yeah, that's really, really tricky.
Oh, the only thing is I think I did an extra roll, so I don't think I will be able to do much. But I don't know.
So yeah, my question was how
you keep
does
going with the manip, and it's likely it can still work. Even if the RNG was one off, you can still get it.
Yeah. So how does it work? Is it another manip? Is it the same manip? But,
This is a
rock
different
pattern
manipulation. That looks correct. So it would be 3 rolls to the corner from here. Yeah. Yes, TGH made their own octo manipulation for this section. Because we're entering on a completely different RNG value. Most of the fight's going to look the same, but the RNG values are different. The rock patterns are different. So we just kind of like decided to do the same movement, but stand in slightly different spots and look for different patterns.
Alright.
Well, it should be 2 or 4, maybe.
That one looks pretty standard. 4 should work?
Let's go.
Yes,
Alright.
nice.
Very nice. Autoclip, second try, automatic.
Yeah.
Really, very solid run.
I
Maybe
actually
have
take
no
this
idea
in
what
runs,
time.
so this is
Uh,
pretty good.
But yeah, very good. And now the rest of the run is going to be exactly the same as last week. So same as the hat week. We are done with the new stuff.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah.
There are
Yes,
some
but-
slight differences.
Right. We need to go to Sanctuary.
I don't know what time we're at the moment. Yeah, we are. If you're looking at the timer now is a lot lower than the timer was last week because we are still missing a few things. We haven't watched some cutscenes for from fighting the moblins, and also we didn't upgrade our swords. So
Right.
all of those were things that we did earlier that added time to the run to this point.
So it's time to go upgrade our sword. Luckily enough, just like last week, since we never saw the king being sexually abused cutscene, we will not have to, well, sneak past the guard, which is a good thing.
And yeah, when we went past the boomerang trees, we didn't get the cutscene with the moblin fight yet because that will trigger once we get the red sword.
Like 2 red sword.
But we're not going to fight that right away because when we get we're going to upgrade to the red sword and then to the blue sword.
We're gonna use the
We want
ocarina.
to go to Palace, so we might as well just use the ocarina to fly there straight away.
So it's only gonna be on the way back.
Yes, the time gets added on after we get the wind element and go to Dark Arrow Castle. We then need to do the moblin fight, which I think adds about 40 seconds to maybe a minute to that section.
Right.
Oh, no, doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, you have to equip the sword to exit the sanctuary. You don't need the sword to fuse the element into it, but you need it to do that. Because if you try to leave without doing that in attack, I think Ezlo doesn't let you or something.
Yes, there's a big trigger zone from where the top elements are down. That if you are in that area, Ezlo will talk to you and then push you up a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you're really far down, it doesn't ever deactivate. So Ezlo will talk to you, push you up a little bit, talk to you again, push you up a little bit, talk to you again, and just repeat that, slowly moving you up, and it's very slow.
Yeah, I just remember there's a shit many games from back then. Alright, but now it's time for Palace of Winds, which is probably the most chill dungeon. Maybe after Triple Try, if you can consider that chill in terms of what is happening inside. Like no big trees that are scary like Palace of Winds or even Cave of Flame because of the RNG and because of the bridge strat with the retention glitch. Palace of Winds is just
So what happened with the pedestal is that the pedestal function to like play the cutscene and give you an item is a script, and the script loads in what conditions it wants to check. So it checks Link's inventory as like what items does he have. It checks that when the room loads. You can't get the red sword from the pedestal and then try and give the red sword onto the pedestal to get the blue sword, because as far as the script is aware, you don't have the red sword. So you need to leave the room and come back for the script to reload correctly.
The fastest way is to do a save and quit.
So yeah, we do a save and quit, because that's the only way we can get out of that area.
You could do the being attack thingy and exit and come back, I suppose.
Yes, yeah, you can do the you can leave and then but it's
slower.
Yeah.
So those calculus were not nice.
Yeah. Classic first room palace.
It's the only bit of RNG in that dungeon, I want to say. Well, except for Gaios, but let's separate the boss and the dungeon. The rest is pretty standard, but bathroom, man, bathroom. Nice.
And this room as well, RNG.
Yeah. Not as impactful, so.
There used to be a load of other RNG parts of this dungeon, which we've seen over the last few weeks. Things like the P-hats in the second half when we're trying to use bombs to blow up a switch and sword slash it. The Moblin and Wizrobe fight at the top of the dungeon.
Very nice fight.
Now the dungeon is so distilled down to just really, it's just the best part of the dungeon. It's just all the fun tricks, and there's nothing else really that we would want to get. There's a ton of other stuff in the rest of the game that would be like, oh, can we get something to speed that up or to skip that? But Palace is just in a really good place right now, where it's.
Well, maybe the first room do not need the blue sword, but it's not for that dungeon itself. It's more for the convenience and not having to shoot before. Build setup, this setup.
Nice.
Let's go and get grabbed by the floor masters.
Yeah. Shout out to the task that's just gonna dash into the middle of that room, in the middle of the wall masters, and not get grabbed.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Maybe if the task gets better. And
the task is gonna desync.
Right. Pretty good trick combo, I should say. I have the word in French, but not in English.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh. That's a really late jump. That very rarely skip the fan in that first section.
Alright, and very soon we're gonna get to the boss fight. We're ready.
Yeah, the only downside to this dungeon is it feels like it goes by too fast.
I think Susan is gonna grow the fairy.
Yeah, those chain soldiers are real bullies. Their chain and will hit you and do an entire heart of damage.
Yeah.
So you get unlucky and you get hit twice or 3 times and you've basically lost half your health.
And conveniently kind of that spark response in between rooms,
Yeah.
so you can just get some health and for extra safety, even another one in a bottle.
Yeah, we're playing any percent. We're not playing glitchless. You don't need to worry about your health in any percent. Just use the boomerang.
Exactly. Alright, and time for Lira. So as usual, in that fight, what you really want is to kill the blue ones in one spin attack and kill the red one, or just get each phase without losing your clones. The rest is very minor. And the way to do that for the red one is to kind of lure the attacks of the blue ones on the sides, in between the time where the eyes are open, and for that one you position nicely and you do the spin attack at the right time and you hit it twice to do 4 damage.
Luckily for us in this fight, basically the only things that are decided by RNG are the eye positions and the directions that the Georgs decide to point when they fly around. Which means that the first parts of that fight are basically completely scripted. It's exactly the same every single time. So we get used to exactly how and what directions the projectiles fly. But when it comes to this part of the fight, this is essentially random, and we have to just react to how it. That's one of the scarier parts of the third section.
Very nice. And all the blue that killed
Oh, really nice. Oh no. Yeah, you got it.
Very good fight. With some nice RNG, but mostly good positioning of the good ones.
Yeah. Yeah, with a slightly better spin attack at the end there, that was like you can't hope for better than that. And it's still that lost like a second to have to do another slash. So yes, that was still an amazing Georg fight.
Alright, and now, well, there's not much left in the run. Assassin just needs to go back to the Sanctuary to choose. He's gonna get the Eslo story cutscene quite late. I mean, you're supposed to get that, I don't know, like 40 minutes ago, but that's alright. And then
I think Glitchless already sees this cutscene
oh yeah,
before this point.
Yeah, so cool. Because you get it
at this time of the run.
I think you get it at around 45 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Let's see that fight. I'm kind of curious because, well, as you said, Link would be placed in the middle of the arena, which is, well, there.
Yeah, basically the moblin on the right kind of always dashes like that, but the one on the left doesn't, so you kind of hold left and throw the boomerang, and it stuns the one on the left, and then the moblin above you kind of runs into the corner, so you quick kill the moblin that's stuck in the corner, and then you go and kill the one that's stunned. And it's very fast and consistent. But still, it would have only saved like a second or so over the fight Session got, because the moblins don't really lose that much time. Getting hit by them is annoying, because you lose an entire heart and you're about to go into Dark Horror Castle, which is the hardest dungeon in the game, and you don't want to be losing health before you've even got in the dungeon.
Yeah.
But Session has a fairy in a bottle. They're very safe.
Nothing can stop him now.
He's having such a good time. He's having a ball.
So DHC is going to be business as usual. We're gonna get the start clip at the beginning, right after it's in the sanctuary, just like last week. But all the rest is gonna be exactly the same as it ever was, basically.
Yeah, this is the point of convergence where it's now exactly the same as where all of the other runs are. So this is the point that we measure, like, how much time would this route save and up to this point, and
An intricate scene again. Nice breathing room before the last part.
yeah, the only thing that could ruin this run now is a reset. Oh no! No, he reset.
He's even older than the hero on the walls.
He's doing the intro again.
But no, that's also intricate scene because there's an extra panel.
What happened to the king? He just blew up.
Yeah, since we're skipping the best cutscene, we actually don't see that Vali is doing something to the king. Maybe the king was Vali all along. It's the first cutscene I think. Alright, so next room we're gonna see cutscene walking, which, well, is basically the same as ever was. Just about pretty high.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's just about unfreezing the NPCs and having them talk to you, unstuck you, basically. And let's see how Sam gets his stuck with.
Interesting.
You deserve to know.
I don't know if that's a consistent setup.
No,
but
it's not. That's it.
That was fast enough.
yes, luckily the oh, nice roll.
Very nice. Yeah, getting stuck on that ledge or not is sub-pixel dependent, I think.
Yeah.
So if you get the right sub-pixel, you can just walk off, and that's much better than using escape and jumping. Not only does it save a menu, it also is faster, so that's cool.
I mean, there's we've got a setup for not using the cape. You can brush against a corner and then do a slash turn and then a boot dash, and it's pretty much 100% consistent. Doing a roll is luck based because it depends on what your subpixel is.
Alright, and Sam got canonless, so now we know who got and who didn't get it. And you can say everybody got it except for Pro and me. 5 out of 7?
Did I not get it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Unless I'm
I
slandering you
did.
live on the internet, but that's what I wrote in my
okay.
notes.
I
can
can't
check.
remember.
But yeah,
I can't remember my run. It was bad anyway.
5 out of 7 seems pretty accurate in terms of stats.
Everything got a bit hazy after the nightmare.
Yeah. I can blame you for that, honestly.
Hey, I got Vati Minute all the way through.
You did. I mean, you technically got press escape first try. The hard part.
Oh yeah, and then I
You rolled.
rolled like a pixel early.
I don't know if I have bombs. I think I have one left.
It's fine.
Spray.
It's fine if you got at least one.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I have one.
You can't kill Vati with bombs.
Can you kill him with a ferry? When you can kill him with
No.
water.
With water, no.
Oh,
No. We tried doing it.
disappointing. Right, but a very solid DHC so far. There's only one more OG to go.
Yep. Fast. Yeah, we've got some fun door jumps to do.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, that's right. No more OGs.
Finally free.
Dumb trick. Can go away.
Alright. Cecil might heal or might not since he has a 3 in a bottle. Maybe you have to what he's gonna do on the next room.
I think it's pretty safe to go
Yeah.
for a quick heal. It's like a second or so.
I probably would as well.
I wasn't
get
gonna do
seen.
it, but I will do it.
Yeah.
This guy is old school. He's doing
Old
that
school.
setup.
Yeah, not much left now. It's there's 3 of the 4 small keys that we need for this dungeon. So time to head over to the last room to get that small key, and then begin the Batty minute.
Kind of funny. Oh, nice concern for good luck. It's kind of funny to me how it used to be the Darknet Money, but now it's easily referred as the Batty Minute. As if
Yeah.
it was like a given that it was gonna go past Darknet, which is not. Like it's still a easy to do. I'm Ghost.
I think we've all worked on improving the Dark Knight minute enough to get it to a point where it's really consistent.
And also maybe the overall level of people running that game seriously has improved. Like it's a given that someone who takes this game seriously is gonna do a Dark Knight Minute and get it most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, the time loss that you get in Batty is too much to ignore. You can have a really good run and lose so much time just to Batty. Yeah. Because Session doesn't have all of their bombs anymore, they got a shell drop, but the shell drop doesn't change the RNG manipulation at all.
Sad 2-second time loss. And so quickly before it gets to the Darknet fight itself, this is kind of a gauntlet. You need to go through a couple of rooms, kill 3 Darknets in under 3 minutes, I think, and then it's Vati 1, 2, and 3 in a row. Really RNG, especially Vati 1 and 2. Which is why we would rather manipulate them. Starting now. Very good.
Yeah,
I think
very
Session is doing Navilin's Manip.
Yeah. I see lots of people doing that as a safer method of ending the fight.
Also, it makes. I think Valley 1 is is a little bit slower, but it's easier than Vlax one.
Oh, is it a different RNG?
I'm not sure.
I assumed it would be the same, but I haven't looked at Black's in a long time.
Alright. That's space. Perfect. It doesn't really matter that SSN missed a couple of slashes at the end because, well, unless he planned to carry it to Valley 2, but for Valley 1 it doesn't matter. It was a very fast fight.
Yeah, Vati 1 loses a lot of time to RNG because of teleport, so
Yeah.
getting 0 teleports is a huge amount of time save.
Well, at least only one, but the fast one and one that was before managed, so
Yeah, I think that you are required to have a minimum of 1 teleport. Yeah, I don't think it's actually possible to get no teleports. I haven't looked into it into too much detail. But this is looking like a really good Vati 2 so
yeah,
far.
Valley 2 is, Alright, the hardest part on the third phase is to get the 4 eyes open. Okay, we're taking the long way. Really good. Very
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, that was... Yeah, Session decided to play it really safe there and make sure that they created their clones, avoiding Vati and letting it do an extra half rotation around. They could have been greedy and gone for a fast one, but it wasn't. You got to make these kinds of decisions when you're doing Vati 2.
Yeah, as I like to say, Valley 2 is all about how you can minimize your risk. So if something goes wrong, you can assume everything's gonna go well after that and take a lot of risk. But then if you get punished, it's your own fault because you decided
Yeah.
to be greedy. And they essentially decided to not be greedy, and I think you got rewarded by that. And that's for Valley 3.
Yeah, with a run like this, you're not going to try and save 5 seconds on Vati 2. You've done all of the stuff that you want to get a good time, and at this point it's just tap it in, get it across the line,
Yeah.
don't lose more time than you need.
Alright, first round. Was the right arm at least.
Yeah, very convenient first arm eye as well, just heading directly towards you. That's kind of what you hope for. Second arm's being a little bit slow, not that slow, but it could have been a bit faster.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Again, double like perfect luck with the main eye coming directly towards Link to get stunned.
Alright.
And now Spine Phase, just 10 to go.
So for no electric first phase, let's go.
Very nice.
It was slightly to the left, I was very scared.
Do you remember if anyone got electricity in the first cycle?
I don't. I could check that at some point, but I think it was pretty rare because everybody knows how to delete Valley 3 by now. So So I think most
Yeah.
people will probably as fast as possible, and they shouldn't get it.
I mean, it's a pure RNG chance. There's a 25% chance, no matter what your movement is, that they'll fire electricity. Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah,
Right.
GG's.
That's a 1:34:06, and I'm pretty sure that's a PB.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a 2 minutes PB. I think I lost the 133 on the second arm because I like got stuck in between
Yeah.
ice and couldn't hit the right one. But it's still a really insane PB.
Yeah, that's great to get on in a marathon as well.
Especially, yeah, you got octoclip second try, you did everything very well, and that's the second PB of our marathon actually.
Yeah.
Fire and system, very good, very nice. Right, so what do you think of your performance, System? Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I think the only thing that I
Yeah.
messed up was second try octoclip. The rest was like the average OGs tries and stuff, but I think I didn't fail a major trick besides octoclip.
No, yeah. The biggest mistake before octoclip I've seen was Mazal fight. You lost like 15 or something because you forgot to kill one of the
true.
of the hands, which is something that will never happen again. But except for that, yeah. I mean, even Palas was pretty good. Your Gaiok fight was very clean, and yeah, not much to say. It was a very very solid run. All right, so he's finalizing something. We have some graphs that we are gonna show you and discuss a little bit. But
that's a 3404, right?
3406.
06.
Oh,
yeah.
06.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so before that, well, we will switch to the interview scene to have a few words with Cicerne, and then Nick will talk to us about some.
We got some charts.
Well, but before the chart, we will talk about the leaderboard standing and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And then the final chart. All right, so we'll switch to the other scene. If you can mute the game, Cicerne.
Yeah.
All right.
Give me a second. Okay, now it's mute.
All good. Right, so that's a PB for you, Cicerne. What's your goal for this route?